The most compelling stories rarely arrive as a complete blueprint. They usually begin as a tiny, easily missed detail. For author Todd Burleson, that detail was a single, blurry historical footnote. Aviation pioneer Orville Wright taking his final flight on a Lockheed Constellation in April 1944. He initially tried to capture this moment in a short 1,100-word children's picture book. That narrow draft was met with years of constant rejection from publishers. That footnote pointed toward a massive historical context. Attempting to fit a sprawling, complex reality into a few illustrated pages resulted in a structural mismatch that couldn't support the weight of the facts. Dayton, Ohio in 1944 was a massive industrial machine operating at maximum capacity. Beneath the town's surface, scientists were quietly processing lethal amounts of radioactive polonium for the Manhattan Project's nuclear triggers. At the exact same time, hundreds of female Navy waves were stationed nearby, operating heavy machines to break the German Enigma code. The era also carried a severe human cost, marked by deep social tension and the forced displacement and internment of Japanese Americans. Discovering these heavy, intersecting truths proved that the story required a much larger canvas. The picture book format was entirely inadequate for the gravity of the actual history. The author overcorrected. He let the historical research completely dictate the narrative, resulting in a sprawling timeline that covered 28 years across 57 episodic chapters. This chart shows the manuscript ballooning out of control, hitting an unmarketable 80,000 words. While the history was meticulously documented, the narrative tension was completely destroyed. A passive historical timeline is the opposite of the tight kinetic mechanics required to drive a thriller. Capturing absolute historical accuracy means absolutely nothing if the resulting pacing makes the book too disjointed for a reader to actually finish. Saving the story required surgical compression. He ruthlessly shrank the 28-year sprawl into a tight 12-month pressure cooker. This diagram shows the braided triad system, a strict rotation between 3 distinct character perspectives to accelerate momentum. He locked this into a mathematical grid: 4 acts, 48 chapters, and 60,000 words. He utilized precise cliffhanger mechanics, ensuring every chapter ended on unresolved peril. This mathematical editing provides the invisible architecture required to keep the audience moving through dense historical data without losing momentum. The brutal internal structural compression required a complete external visual overhaul to match the mean pacing. The author deliberately abandoned the sepia-toned, nostalgic look typical of historical fiction, opting instead for a darker, highly toxic aesthetic. This new industrial noir identity visualized a home-front war fought with secrets, silence, and hazardous materials. This final alignment of toxic visual tone and relentless structural pacing ultimately forged the finished novel, The Secret War. Finishing this project required 13 years of chasing a blurry footnote, the willingness to abandon an entire manuscript, and the technical precision to carve a high-stakes narrative out of the raw facts of the home front.